Hi guys, welcome to another movie crew review. Today we'll be reviewing Fly Me to the Moon.
The movie stars Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum, Woody Harrelson, and Ray Romano.
So we enter the 1960s as we get a history on the Apollo missions up to this date, and we meet Callie, who is an ad executive from New York City and comes down to Florida to help sell the new space launch for the NASA Apollo 11 mission. And we see Channing Tatum as the launch director, who is her adversary. And the film takes us on wild chases as we get the conspiracies of, is the moon landing real or not, and all the fun that ensues. So let's get on to the film review. And Moon, if you'd like to take us away.
Yep, it has to be me today. So this movie is mostly centered around Scarlett Johansson's character, Kelly. And so she would do anything to sell a product, advertise. She's so good at selling. And so now she has been, because of her past, so she has been led to this new mission where she meets Channing Tatum. So the last 30 minutes or so were the best part of the movie. And before that, it was fine, I would say. The relationship aspect between both Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson, it sort of worked for me. It is something like new, but we have seen many times. But for what the plot of the movie was, it worked. Kelly, so she has to convince a lot of people so they would allow this Apollo mission. And like this part of the movie just sagged somehow. This movie felt so long. Despite this movie felt so long, they didn't actually did a good job to explain those things. Like Armstrong is wearing a Omega watch and he's just there like he's going to wear, but what impact does it have? Those things were never explained, so it felt very long in those aspects. But I did enjoy the movie as a whole, because especially the last 20-30 minutes. John?
Yeah, so I think that the film mainly had an issue with the runtime. It's described as a romantic comedy, but I didn't really find it overly funny. I think most of the comedy tried to come from Jim Rash's character, who was the director in the film. It somewhat felt like two stories that they joined in the middle. So the first half is trying to sell the missions to the public and trying to make them more interesting since they've had all these issues. And the second half seems to be the actual filming of this fake moon landing and what are they going to do with the footage? Are they going to use it? What's going to happen? And Woody Harrelson's character is the catalyst and the somewhat narrator for this whole story. I enjoyed the actual characters themselves, but I didn't find the chemistry between Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson's character to be that much of a draw that they were opposing. It just, I don't know how to explain it, but Channing Tatum's character just didn't feel like he was from the 1960s. It's very strange way to say it, but the cuts and the montage is really done well. I think it's nice that they've used archival footage from the original Apollo 11 missions to actually use instead of CGI and trying to make these grandiose things, and filming at the actual Cape Canaveral with the replica restorations of the sets was a nice touch and something that made it feel a bit more authentic. I think other than Jim Rash's character, the comedy was a little bit lost. I think it was a bit not as funny as what they were intending it to be. But the whole topic of product placements and trying to get funding, and Callie's character was the main thing that kind of drove the film and kind of kept it going. I would have liked to see more from Ray Romano's character. He's such a good actor, and you can see it in a lot of things that he does, but it just feels like it was a bit of a small shoehorned thing in there. He wasn't really that critical to the story. Like, if I was to lose that character, I wouldn't have been overly changed to the story. But other than that, I think that the characters that we did focus on, Jim Rash, Woody Harrelson, and Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum, probably the four main ones, they really made the story interesting. So yeah. Cameron?
Yeah, I think so. With movies like this, they have the stellar cast. Usually it can go really good or really bad. I feel like this sort of cemented somewhere in the middle. The acting was great by everyone I recall. Like everyone sort of didn't feel like a chore to watch, but going in, I thought it would be an easy watch film, just sit back and have a couple laughs. But like John said, the comedy was not there for me at all. I feel like sometimes in the movie, especially Channing Tatum's character, he felt at the beginning, very beginning, he felt like this comedic, non-serious character, but then sort of in the middle and at the end, it cuts very serious and has a serious tone. I did enjoy that. Like, Channing Tatum can do both. Like, I've seen a few movies he can do both, and he's stellar at either. But I just feel like in this one, they couldn't really direct him in which way they wanted to go. Because, like, this movie was advertised, like in the trailer, it's very comedic central, but pretty much all those comedy lines or scenes were pretty much in the trailer, in the whole movie. So, I just feel, yeah, I got a bit bewildered by the whole feeling. But yeah, like we've said, the runtime, it did feel a bit stretched out. But with that, you gain, most things didn't feel like nothing. Like Moon, you said, like you felt like it was still knowledgeable what they were giving you.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get lost in it and it just pulls you away. I gotta say a couple of the main scenes for me that stood out were both times the rocket ship launches.
Yep.
I think that was really well done. Like that, the rumble in the cinema, how it was shot, how it was cutting from the launch to everyone in the launch bay, and yeah, and seeing all the effects in the launch bay because it's so close. I thought that was really well done. It was a well shot movie. It was very middle lane for me.
Yeah. And comedy, I felt like it was plucked from 2024 comedy. Like, it felt like, I didn't laugh once, but the jokes felt someone would use these days, like bits, PC jokes, but they didn't hit at all. And so in the movie, they mentioned Stanley Kubrick a couple of times. So there was a rumor out of now, so that he helped fake moon landing. And so if you watch Shining, then he's wearing Apollo, like a jumper. So it was sort of acknowledgement from his end that he actually helped NASA to fake moon land. So I think they did mention it a couple of times. So I don't know what that was all about. Maybe it was just adding more to the conspiracy. So
Yeah, it's funny to say, but when you watch a film and you see those fake films in the film,
yeah.
this film kind of felt like what that was. Like, it just, I don't know, I don't know what it was, if it was the actors going together or what it was, but it just felt like, I don't know, there was just something in my head that, like when I saw the trailer and all that, it looked like a kind of like, is this film actually real or is it part of, say, like another film series altogether? It was just something, I don't know, it felt strange.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to what you said about the Stanley Kubrick,
Yeah.
do you guys think that it was filmed and faked, or do you think it was a real deal? Do you have any opinions on it?
I'm a big Stanley Kubrick fan, so I still won't say anything, but if he did, I would believe he did it. So it was, come on, it's Kubrick, man.
We landed on the moon.
Yeah, I think they take liberal tones with it. I think Jim Rash's character was probably the one funny.
Oh yeah, he's there just for comedic relief.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But it was very interesting. I mean, even just to see the actual footage, like all restored, because I know for a fact, because I've watched the Apollo 11 documentary, when you see the actual shuttle driving in, when you see all those shots, they're just restorations of the original film from 1969. So it looks really nice on
Yeah,
on the
well,
big
I didn't
screen.
even notice, so
Yeah.
they've done a really good job. Like we said, it was shot really well.
Yeah. The one thing I would have liked would be to have the Frank Sinatra Fly Me to the Moon song maybe as the cap end to it. I mean, you name the film that, you'd think that's the most iconic thing. You know, something akin to the end of Space Cowboys. Ended that quite nice. This could have been done the same thing. Or, in the other respect, maybe left something a bit to the imagination. They kind of, instead of letting you just think maybe how it was going to end, they kind of just spelled it all out. You really don't have to think much, because they tell you exactly what's going to happen and how everything's going to end up. But yeah.
Alright, gonna give our scores?
Yep.
Man, how many space shuttles out of 10?
I'll give it 6.5 space shuttles out of 10.
John?
I'm going to give it 8 space shuttles out of 10.
I'll give it 7 space shuttles out of 10. Alright guys, make sure to like, share the video, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.